called me a minimalist at some point. I was like, I don't think I'm a minimalist.
In what context?
I don't know. He was like, you don't have a lot of stuff.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
I mean, I guess. I don't know. It's like I never thought about it.
Yeah, no, I have a lot of stuff, as you can see.
Yeah, but it's, I mean, kind of. You don't have like a ton of stuff in that corner or something, you know?
True. Yeah, I like to keep this room kind of open. You know, in the movie Step Brothers, when he walks in and it's like, there's so much room for activities. It just,
Yeah.
it kind of clears your mind a bit.
That's true.
But we have a lot of clutter.
This is like The Office.
Yeah, this is The Office. Also the podcast set. So
Ricky Gervais.
I think looks like we are recording. No, this is the podcast banter. We can see each other on camera over there.
Matt, it's so nice to
Yeah. Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. Hell yeah. Let's go. You're one of the oldest people I know from UCF, so this is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's true.
So, cheers.
Cheers, man.
To 10 years of knowing each other. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've
to
known
10 more.
To 10, only 10. After that, I don't want to know you anymore.
Right.
That's it. Don't call me. Don't text me. Don't be bringing beer to my house.
That's correct. Yeah.
Cheers. You're graduating again for the second time at college.
Yeah, it's surreal. It's very strange.
You're graduating. This man is graduating his master's this weekend.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, my parents are coming up tomorrow. I hope they don't watch this.
No, this is going to be a couple months of editing. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Yeah. Graduating tomorrow. Master's in data analytics. But I was telling you before we started recording, a little pre-recording banter, that it'll be surreal to have nothing to do outside of work. Like, yeah, I don't know. Even like in between semesters, it would be like a week or two. But because there was the next semester looming, it would always be like, I gotta work on projects. I gotta do this. I gotta do that.
Can't stop. I gotta keep going.
Can't stop. Definitely can't stop. Yeah. Whereas like now, even just like, I'm not working on this edible, and I'm graduated, so I don't have homework. So I'm just like, it's the first time in like probably 2.5 years, maybe more, 3 years, that I don't have something that I like need to work on with a deadline. You know?
Yeah, you can finally take time and just stare at the trees.
I'm definitely not going to be doing that. I'm going to be... I'm starting like 10 projects
on your next project.
Now.
Yeah, see, you're the busiest person I've ever known. Like, I don't even think you sleep. Because there was one time, this was maybe in 2017, when I was staying at your apartment, and you went to bed later than I did, and you woke up before I did.
Oh, those days
and you had
over.
Energy. Like, it was like 100 amounts of energy the whole time. I don't know how you do it.
Well, those days are over for sure. I'd be sleeping in. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like, honestly, it was like COVID. I don't know what it was. When we went into lockdown, like, I completely lost my sleep schedule, and I've never gotten it back.
Really?
Yeah. You're right. I used to be like that. I used to stay up late, and then I would just, like, I don't know, like, wake up early just as, like, whatever.
You do this on your bed for, like, 30 minutes?
Right. And then I rise like a vampire.
Yeah, and then you come up, and it's time to start. You got to drum, or you got to do something.
Yeah.
I've always admired that, though. Like, your productivity level, your ambition, your drive. It's like you're always, like you said, always working on something.
I don't know. I can't stop. I don't know what it is.
I relate to that, because it's like, if you have the time to watch something or play video games, relax, then I also have the same amount of time and energy to work on something. And that's how I was too. And being with Valentina, she kind of taught me how to relax a bit. There's Opie.
Yeah. Well, Grace has tried. It just hasn't stuck.
She's just, tried and failed.
I get antsy, yeah.
But it seems like you've been going out a lot more. Like, you've been kind of... Like,
yeah, definitely.
Going to restaurants.
I mean, definitely, for sure. It chills you out.
Yeah.
Having a significant other, having a partner.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I mean, like, for you at least, I'd say just time track. Like that's the thing that set me on straight, was like tracking your time, actually like having a timer that you start and stop when you're starting something and stopping something.
Yeah.
I don't know, it makes you aware of it. And the thing that they always say, and the thing that I followed, was for the first time that you start time tracking, you want to track every minute, just have a timer running the entire time, just to try and like take inventory for a week. Take inventory of where all your time is going. And that timer could be walking, right? Or driving. True. Or something like that, or at work or something, or internet time, right? And it's not necessarily, you're not categorizing anything as good or bad. You just want to see at the end, like with 1 week snapshot, how much time do I spend scrolling on the internet? How much time do I spend at the gym? How much time do I spend hanging out with loved ones, right? And then you can adjust therein, right?
Yeah.
So I'd recommend that. It also kind of makes you into a psycho, just a little bit.
Yeah, time tracking your entire life and seeing on a graph what it looks like, it seems kind of unnatural, but at the same time, it does allow you to notice, oh, there's a lot of wasted time maybe, or a lot of time I could do, you can probably it helps with time management, I imagine.
Yeah. Yeah, and like the other thing with time tracking at least is it sets intention. Like if I sit down, I should have started a timer saying podcast recording with Matt, but it sets an intention of what you're doing, right? If I sit down on my computer and I say I'm writing, like Detective Bonk or like some script I'm working on, then that timer's ticking. And if I sit there for 15 minutes and actually I've been scrolling on Instagram or whatever, then I reset that timer back to 0 when I realize, like, oh, I haven't been writing, But right now, I only track my productive time. That's all I track. What
do you consider productive?
Well, that's a hard question. I mean, I guess it's anything... Because beyond this, outside of the time tracking on another level, I have like project management. And so it's anything that's either like recurrent tasks like laundry or doing chores, the dishes or whatever, right? Like those are not working towards a goal. It's just recurrent kind of maintenance of your life. But you also have things that are working towards a goal, and those are projects, right? And so like anything that's working on a project or like an area of interest, something that's defined within another system, my like long-term project management, then that's all considered like trackable time or productive time because it's working towards an end.
So productivity towards projects you make. It could also be towards school, which you're about to finish. But I would also say that you could consider building relationships with people, spending time as productivity.
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. It does become a strange gradient there because it's like, well, I don't know. Because it's like, do I consider time that I'm spending with other people productive? Like it starts to become that weird.
Yeah, because then if it's not if it's unproductive, then it's like, are you like enjoy? Is it rude to be? I don't want to spend time with you because it's unproductive.
Yeah, exactly. And so like I flirted around with the idea of like tracking all that kind of time, but ultimately I turned against it because it's just like it becomes a slippery slope, and it's I don't know. It's not something you want to do.
It's probably hard to live in the moment because you're constantly thinking in terms of productivity.
Yeah, and like the reason why I started tracking it is because I would spend times like helping somebody move or like whatever, and I didn't have like a category to put that in. And at the end of each week, like I'm too stats focused, at least right now, because it's like at the end of every week I make note of how much productive time outside of like my day job I spent that week, and I have it on a graph of like seeing how it compares to all the other weeks, right? And like everything else that I track and all these things side by side. I mean, do you track anything? Do you have any, like, do you set out projects, I guess, is like, that would be like the most basic thing of like, I have this goal and here are my sub goals beneath it that I need to accomplish to get that one goal.
I do, and I keep that in my head. But also, I do have a written, like a paper calendar in my desk that I handwrite. If I have things that pop up in the week, things that like appointments, or I have to get things done, I'll like handwrite those things.
Yeah.
And then I can cross it off.
Yeah.
And so looking at like I did that today, like set up podcast, pay rent, send Fern something. I just wrote it down in today, and then I saw it, visually, I can see it right in one place. And then when I did everything this morning, I crossed it all off. And then I look at this list of like scribbled out text, and that feeling is like, yes.
Yeah.
I was productive. So no, I don't track time, but I do kind of track like checkpoints.
No, yeah, it's a to-do list.
Yeah,
I mean, that's essentially what it is. Do you like, if you had something coming across where it's like, hey Matt, you got to do this by Wednesday or whatever, do you put that in the Wednesday, or where does that go?
It depends on what it is. If it's something that's due Wednesday, but it needs a kind of buffer amount of time, then I'll say, okay, Monday or Tuesday. If let's just say it's a video, then I'll try and have it done Actually, I'll take it back. I do things the very last minute. I kind of procrastinate. And sometimes when I have a due date, I wait. It's like, now that I know the date, I know how much time I have to lollygag up until the last minute and get it done. But if it is something I know, okay, I should probably take some time and get it done, then I would probably set some like mini checkpoints. For example, right now I'm editing Oz's movie, and I'm saying, okay, each week I want to have either look through a certain amount of selects, and by this weekend I want to have this scene edited. But sometimes when I get to that point, I do a completely different thing. I was productive, but I didn't do what I planned to do. So sometimes I do that where I go on a completely different tangent of something I didn't plan to do. Like I'm doing something that I shouldn't do yet because I'm like procrastinating this main thing. I'm like, let me do the fun part first, get that out of the way. But in doing so, it kind of warmed me up. And then I go back to the big thing. It's not as daunting as before.
Yeah.
So I kind of like jumping around a bit. Like I don't like working in chronological order sometimes. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't.
Well, it's also like doing the fun thing can help you enter the flow state a little bit easier, and then you can like bridge that flow state into the less fun thing that you need to do. It makes sense. Yeah. How is Oz's movie coming along?
So far so good. I was actually working on it a little bit earlier today, right before you came here. I'm liking it.
Yeah.
The cast, Oz is pulling some great performances. It's very funny. And honestly, when I'm editing this, I'm imagining you laughing specifically. And I'm looking for the performances and like trying to edit.
It's because I'm an easy lay. I laugh at anything.
I guess so. But your laugh just like pierces through the audience, and I'm like, yes, I need a frank laugh.
I'm excited to see it. I guess
Me too.
But yeah, no, Oz especially. You definitely should have Oz on here.
Oh, he's on the list.
Yeah, Oz and Britt, obviously, because they're like a duo,
power couple.
like an absolute power couple. But they're so good at casting. When I went back there, because I feel like casting and actors and stuff like that is something that like I struggle with, or I'm working on getting better.
You always
at.
Just cast yourself.
Well, yeah.
It's always just your voice.
I don't want to bother with someone.
But you're
else.
good at it though. I was re-listening to the baby video, Math Baby.
Oh God, yeah.
And your voice acting is really good.
Anyways, they're so good. Like even just rolling back to like Keep Digging, where I'm like, that's a lot of characters that you need to cast all pretty correct, and like they absolutely nail it, right? And so it's something that like they're super good at, and I don't know. I definitely like. I've gone and talked with them about like how do you guys cast? Like how do you do this? How do you do that? But yeah, for sure. Like, change for 100. That's Very exciting.
Yeah.
Shouts out.
Oz's third movie. You have 3 animated films. Well, you have more than just 3 animated films, but you have at least 3 big ones.
True.
You have Hot Dogs. You have This Edible Ain't Shit. And then your first one, which was called, I have it written down over there in my little notepad, but I don't have it with me right here in my hand. Things happen because. And I remember that blew people away in the audience of the BA screener.
Yeah.
Was this 2019? May of 2019, I think. Yeah, it was May of 2019 because it was just before COVID.
Yeah.
And people, I love the Shaggy line.
Yeah,
that was
Shaggy,
so funny.
right. Yeah, kind of playing loose and fast with the copyright laws.
Yeah, you kind of got around a little bit. Let me let Opie out for a second. He does not want to be in this podcast anymore.
Fair enough. Bye, Opie. Sorry. We drove him away with our time tracking.
Yeah, he's like, fuck this. So we can bring my notepad over.
This is fun.
It is? Okay, good.
Yeah, no.
After a few more beers, it'll be even more fun.
It's true. It's true.
So let me just look at my notes here. Yeah, I have a lot of conversation
starters.
Starters and points that I want to get to, but also, we can just let it happen naturally. One of my questions
it's
actually.
so easy talking to you.
Yeah, I know. I know. It happens so naturally. We have so much history together.
It's almost
We've
like
done.
We're friends.
Yeah, right. It's helping me define what that means.
Yeah.
It's we've done a lot of things together.
Most definitely.
Yeah, we've seen each other in a lot of different. It's interesting. Like our own family members, our own mothers, probably haven't seen what you and I have seen of each other.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
No, not really. I mean, it's
that's normal, I guess, for bros.
Yeah, I don't know. Mothers, like, what? They see most sides of you until you're like 15 or 16, and then you start. Once you start learning how to like keep secrets from your parents, right? Mom and Dad, I hope you don't see this, but like, right? Like, there's a point where you start confiding in your friends in a way that you don't confide in your parents.
Yeah.
But up until that point, like, there was definitely a period in my life where it's like, or at least up until a certain point, you like confide in your parents more than anyone else.
Yeah.
And then you learn to confide in
your drug consuming friends.
Yeah. Teach their own.
Maybe I'll cut that part out. But also, and an interesting thing is when you do get older, you start, like for me, when I've gotten older recently, I've actually confided with my mom for the first time in many years. So it's like around the teenage years, it's like you kind of distant. And I think when you become like an adult, you come back and then now you can kind of relate. Because now I'm on an older level. It's like in hindsight, I can look back on my life and on my parents during the time of my life. And it all makes sense. You know what I mean? Like I can relate more.
Yeah.
As an adult now, it's like I understand.
100%. Absolutely. I mean, it is that thing of like, yeah, like you're saying, it's that well, when you're like a teenager or something like that, you're rebelling, you're like flirting with freedom and the limits of everything. And then like later on, I really feel like, especially once the weight of responsibility and mortality weighs on you, that's when you start realizing like, oh my God, like, yeah.
You can relate to your parents about death.
Yeah.
Like it's a different level.
It is. Yeah. That's something, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. But then it's like, yeah, you confide in your parents and now it's like, I confide in my parents some things and then I can confide in my friends the other things. And,
And then your SO and so forth. And then your pets, Opie knows so many things.
Oh,
that I don't tell anybody.
I bet. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there are those things that no one will ever know.
No one will ever know. Don't read my journal.
To your grave.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course, I have none of those.
No, of course. No skeletons in your closet or anything.
No, my closet is clean.
Mm-hmm. I know. I've been in it.
Oh, well, you should come out of the closet.
We recorded some animations in there, some voiceover.
Yeah. I have to go into the closet and out of the closet all the time to record my voiceover.
Yeah, for hot dogs, Fernando was over from Miami for a party, and you pulled him aside in the middle of the party. Said, "I need you to record God for me in the closet." And he's like, "All right, Ben." Damn. I mean, all right. Shout out to Fernando.
You need to have him on this podcast.
Oh yeah, he's on the list too. Next time he comes up to Miami.
It is funny. I mean, you've seen this edible, so it's like this is the second time in a row that Fernando appears as a shining light.
Yeah, that's right.
Like he's also a shining light in this edible.
He's a good actor.
Oh, he's fantastic.
He has
Yeah.
I could see him go really far.
Yeah, and oh my God, and like a wonderful writer too.
Yeah.
and all.
That's what I was talking about this with Vince, but I think it's so cool that, and I get reminded of this whenever I talk to other people I know, and I think it's special that you and me and all of our other UCF friends from the Screenwriting Club, shout out, like we still keep in touch and we still all make things, and we cooking with the boys, we are sharing things, and I think that's pretty cool. Like not everyone has that, and I feel very fortunate because had I not even gone to UCF, I wouldn't have met you. I don't think I would be at this point at all. Be still living at home in Mount Dora probably.
Yeah.
Useless.
Oh my God. Yeah, like I was trying to go to UF. Can you imagine? Gator friends?
Yeah, you would have been some like finance bro for real if you went to
garbage. Are you kidding me? But yeah, like Screenwriting Club, shouts to the hell out Screenwriting Club, because I mean, we were the only club that was like we were production focused, and we actually like had longevity. We didn't collapse. Like there were so many production focused film clubs, and they would all collapse under like ego or whatever. In the time that I was at UCF, there were like 3 clubs that were all focused towards like making movies.
Yeah.
And like how everybody in the club would have their chance playing every different part or whatever.
Yeah.
Which is a fantastic idea. No shade towards any of them, but like
it's more like a class in a way.
Like I don't know. Maybe it's because we were only writing, but yeah, that club rocked. That club was so cool.
It was almost like a fraternity because we would show up and basically on Friday nights. That was like the thing to look forward to.
Yeah.
The whole week. It sounds very nerdy, but that was in a way our group.
Yeah.
Met all kinds of people.
Man,
it was fun. That was 10 years ago. I tell you
what, now that I'm like graduating masters, I always had like classes the same night as like Screenwriting Club. I wish I was able to go to one, even just to sit and just see what it's become, you know? Because it's like, it is like your baby going out into the world.
It's different.
I'm like, I wonder what it's like. I wonder what they're doing.
I know. The last time I was there, it was in 2022. This was like about this time, like in May of 2022 or March, something like that in the spring. I was there for an audition. And I had walked into the Screenwriting Club, and I knew 0 people there. And they all saw me, and the people that were in charge came up to me and said, "Hey, welcome. It's your first time in the Screenwriting Club?" And I was like, I was kind of crying inside. I'm like, no, but yes. So I just sat there. I felt so like an old man there, and just the vibe and energy was very different. I'm glad it was there for the people that was there, but it was way different than us pulling up with like, what, you know, putting certain drinks into certain bottles and drinking it on a Friday night. Go to Jimmy Hula's
that's
after.
That's the kind of stuff that's like unfathomable. Like the new screen. I would tell them where I'm like, we had like a Pepsi bottle full of like
just pass
brown
it around
liquor. We just pass it around.
I have to say I probably did not partake as much back then because
fair enough.
I kept myself kind of clean back then.
Fair enough. I mean, it's like the writer's way. You always hear about the drunk writers, right? The Ernest Hemingways. And then, you eventually hear about how that all ended. But
I know your favorite.
I made some great stories in the meantime. Yeah, but absolutely. I mean, that was like, and that's all the best people. Absolutely.
So I do want to ask you some questions, actually. So we met, obviously, in Screenwriting Club. And from what I knew, you at that time, you were like the sound guy, and we were all writers and everything. We were kind of figuring ourselves out. But then all of a sudden, you were an animator. So for me, it's kind of like a blur a bit, but what was your first animation, or like what was it that sparked your animation interest and made you just start grinding hardcore into animation? Like it almost felt like it came out of nowhere.
Yeah. I mean, it was like, well, one, I never felt comfortable in live action, I guess. Like I would film some live action stuff, but I just could never get it right, which I think is I should have just been easier on myself. But then, truthfully, where it came out of was I saw It's Such a Beautiful Day.
Of
I
course,
saw Don
fucking
Hertzfeldt
movie.
thing. And so, like, that, where it's a feature-length movie and it's stick figures and it's, like, so moving and so funny and just, like, incredible. I mean, my first animated short was, like, I forget the name of it. And They Would Die Tomorrow or something like that, and they would die the next day, something like that. And it's just absolutely straight up a rip off of It's Such a Beautiful Day. Like that's just what I was chasing. But like, I mean, I'd flirted with it even before that, because it's like, you remember you were on set for A Wandering Ghost, which is essentially stop motion animation, right?
Yeah.
It was like done in a weird way of, we took it like a white what would you call that? Like a Walmart bag, Walgreens bag,
like
and
a plastic bag.
I would spin it around and try and like jump around. And we filmed like 2 parts, and then you were like driving the car.
Yeah, at idle speed, trying not to run you over.
Yeah,
You're walking
trying to
backwards.
run me over. But that was perfect. That's exactly what we needed. And like that was kind of essentially stop motion, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and so, I mean, I kind of feel like I've always had a bit of an experimental edge, but certainly it was the animation itself was Don Hertzfeldt. That was all. It's Such a Beautiful Day.
Seems to be your biggest inspiration.
I mean, he's the best. I don't know what to say. Honestly, the thing that gave me the most Don Hertzfeldt energy recently is like, and I just rewatched it on the treadmill at the gym.
Okay.
Is Hundreds of Beavers.
Oh right, yes.
And where it's like one person and like a couple other people, just the people that are around him, can make a masterpiece. Can make just like an incredible piece of art.
Yeah.
By themselves, you know.
It's
and
kind of like Everything Everywhere. It was, the VFX team was like what, 5 or 6 people. Very
it was one
small.
dude. I mean,
it was one person.
I was just the director. Yeah,
Really?
He did all the After Effects himself. It took him like 2 years.
Is that inspiring that you can just do that yourself on a computer?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, right? Like you've seen it, right? You've seen Hundreds of Beavers?
Hundreds of Beavers? No, I haven't.
Oh, really?
I know you want me to. I haven't. I know you. It's on your Letterboxd and everything.
I will throw a movie night just for you.
Okay.
That's fucked up.
We also have that Heat.
That's like the ultimate After Effects movie ever. Like that is like they should, the same way that Premiere is like advertising Sean Baker directed or edited Anora on Premiere.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, and they've been like bannering that all over the place.
Really?
So
I haven't
like,
seen that.
Yeah, Sean Baker edits on this.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's so dumb that After Effects is like not being like, you know, Hundreds of Beavers, they made it on this, you know.
That's impressive. I live in After Effects, so
yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and you like Looney Tunes kind of stuff, like
that's what I've heard.
And video game stuff. It's so up your alley. I honestly, it's like offending me that you haven't seen it thus
Okay,
far.
well,
but I want to watch it with you now. Knowing that you haven't seen it, like we need to set up a movie night,
and we have to add Heat to that list as well.
Oh yeah. Well, Fernando needs to be in town.
Okay,
for that.
so next time he's in town,
I don't know if Fernando's seen Hundreds of Beavers, but if he hasn't, that's a strange,
is that his?
That's a wild double feature.
Yeah. Damn. What would you do first, Heat or Hundreds of Beavers?
Probably
Hundreds of Beavers first. Get the humor out of the way, and then Heat.
Yeah, it's hard to tell, but I mean they'd have to be separate movies. But yeah, probably Hundreds of Beavers and then Heat. You'd have to, because Heat is just, I mean, it's Heat. I don't know what to say.
It's just Heat, bro. Just fire.
It's just fire. Yeah, exactly.
I was actually looking at Letterboxd today, and you are the first person I ever followed on Letterboxd.
Really?
You are.
Wow.
I know. And you, like we were saying earlier, I don't know how you make time to do everything you do. You double majored, you have a master's, you have all these animations, you have like a personal life, friends, SO, family, and you have enough time to watch movies. Because I was looking at your Letterboxd, and I went to your review list, and you have like 37 pages of movies. And the first page alone, like compared to me, I have 5 pages of movies, my entire Letterboxd history from like 10 years ago. My first page, the most recent movie is Sinners, and the last movie on the page is Arrival. So almost 10 years in the first page is spanning of the movies I've logged on Letterboxd. Your first movie, your most recent movie is also Sinners, and then your last movie on the first page is like 1 year ago.
Wow.
So it's pretty impressive how much you watch movies.
I mean, well, also part of that is I mean, part of that is also like the short films that I see at like film festivals or whatever. And sometimes I log those, sometimes I don't. But I mean, I feel like it's encouraging and it helps boost those movies, especially the ones that I like.
Puts them in circulation.
Yeah, exactly. Just kind of brings them up and boosts their stats.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I mean, like, I don't know. Like, I've turned into such a. I used to be so like purist about like, oh, not doing anything during a movie, or like I gotta
don't talk at all.
A movie, yeah, and like I still kind of am that way about some movies, to be honest.
Yeah.
In a way that I think probably annoys people, which is fair. But I've turned into so much of just like, especially not watching TV. Like that's the thing. I don't watch TV, and so if I'm like sitting down and I want to watch something for 30 minutes, I'll just fire up, The Night Has a Thousand Eyes from like 1950.
Of course.
Something, and like watch 30 minutes of it and then like go to bed, and then the following day I'll watch another 30 minutes of, like, I'll watch it like it's a TV show, but it's like so just some movie.
Yeah.
But that's what I like, because TV, you know what you're going to get, which is obviously part of the appeal of TV, is like you fire up another episode of It's Always Sunny and you know generally what the vibe is going to be, how it's going to be directed,
more
the characters, everything like that. Yeah, which is like, and that's a fantastic show, but I just want something new. I want something totally new in a way. And so like something where it's a totally different director, it's a totally different actors. Yeah. Who knows what the characters are going to be? What's the premise of this? Like, I like that sense of unknown and like discovering it. That kind of lack of that kind of dulls me with television.
Yeah.
And so I've kind of like betrayed my morals, and now I watch movies in increments.
That's I think just part of life, like getting older. Your time commitments. It's hard because I'm like, I love just doing nothing and playing video games, but every time I go to sit down and do it, I just don't, because something pops up, responsibility pops up. It's like,
yeah.
And it just like, it's like a shot movie where it's getting farther and you're reaching for it and it's just and it disappears. So yeah. So it's a treat when you can actually sit down and like immerse yourself into the thing fully from start to beginning. That's why I do like shows, because it's like I have 30 minutes, it's too short for a movie. So and I don't want to think. So let me just watch South Park or something where I just can watch colors,
Yeah, that's true. But what's your go-to these days? What do you fire up?
Lately, if I'm on TV, what I've been watching lately is Righteous Gemstones.
I do want to see that.
It's funny. The series finale is this coming Sunday, so I'm caught up. I'm also watching The Studio, which is, honestly, it's okay.
Really?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay. I want to see it. I've heard good things.
Yeah, but it's
like, I don't know, a lot of shows.
Maybe this is me. I don't know if we want to get into a review of The Studio or not.
No, lay it on me.
Yeah? Okay, so...
Or if you don't
Seth
want,
Rogen
if
can
you
get
don't
it.
feel comfortable.
Because it's going to be a very long tangent. And this is about you. You're my guest.
No, what?
Do you want to hear about the studio?
I
Okay.
want to hear about the studio.
So on...
How's Scorsese's Kool-Aid movie doing? You
Oh
know?
my God, bro. This show, like, I get what they're trying to do. It's very meta. The show is supposed to be a love letter to cinema, right?
Yeah.
But it contradicts itself, if that makes sense. It contradicts itself because it kind of feels like me in high school having an argument with somebody, you know? Like, you have to watch movies like, you know, you have to watch movies silently. You have to watch this director or that director. And I do get that. In the latest episode, the argument, the point of the episode is medicine and doctors, that profession is a lot more important and relevant than filmmaking, movies, and art. Like, it's more important to society.
Sure.
And Seth Rogen's character, who owns a studio, I guess equivalent to like Warner Brothers, he is making the argument that they're equal. They're like on the same level. And so like you could say that argument, but the way he went about it is he's trying to defend this zombie movie, but the zombies have diarrhea. And if the bloody zombie diarrhea gets on you, that's how you get infected. And so that's kind of the equivalent to lowbrow Marvel movies, or maybe even South Park, for example, where people might look at that and go, that's lowbrow, right?
Yeah.
But then other people can say, no, that's art. Like, there's actually intuition there and integrity. That's kind of the argument of this latest episode. I don't know. It's just kind of pretentious, and it's not a perfect show. I'm also kind of failing this beer a bit.
Few things are. Yeah, well, me too.
Yeah.
Few things are a perfect show, right? And like, I don't know. I see what you're saying. Like, that does sound like, I don't know. It sounds like the kind of wacky writing of like the zombies with the diarrhea or whatever.
Yeah. But that is kind of the wackiest. Like, those are the fake movies within the show. But the show is also very relevant. Like, it's name dropping people and movies that have just released. And whenever I watch movies or shows, like the latest Ninja Turtles animated movie came out, whenever movies are name dropping references, it outdates itself.
Yeah.
And it's not relevant to people who watch it maybe 20 years from now. I mean, maybe that's not the studio's goal. They name drop examples in the show to say, hey, this director, like, he's awesome. Like, but that's not everyone's opinion. Like, it assumes everyone's opinion agrees with the studio, but my opinions don't always agree with the studio. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of where that kind of like, you think you're right, but I don't agree kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, that's interesting. Because what's interesting about it is, like, that is the way we talk, right? Like, you and me in this conversation have made reference to Sinners, have made reference to South Park, to whatever, right? But, like, there is that sense of, like, movie dialogue is not real life dialogue. Yeah. It's stylized in a way. And so, like, should you take out these references that characters, if they were real, would maybe actually be saying, but, like, do date the thing, and where it's like, in 10 years, is anybody going to have any clue to, you know, whatever reference is made in the episode or something like that?
And what if this person in the future becomes shitty, like, for whatever reason, like, they get canceled or whatever? It's like, it doesn't age well.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you always run that risk of, like, making reference to something or something like that. The thing that I always think of, or at least what's been on my mind in a way of, like, I kind of want to revisit it, is like, did you ever see Hillbilly Elegy, the J.D. Vance movie about?
No, but I know it's a book, and it was like, I kind of want to read it just to see what it's like. But no, I didn't know there's a movie on it.
No, and it's like a total liberal, like, Oscars play movie, but it's,
really,
yeah, because that's what he was. He was like a liberal blogger before he hard pivoted.
Oh, I didn't know that,
to being a Trump guy.
Really? See, it goes to show, like, you know your audience. That's how you get successful.
Like, that's the most, like, insane U-turn,
Yeah.
But in a way, I don't know. In a way, it's made me kind of more interested in it because it's like, it is also, there is this thing that I feel like has been happening of, I don't know if you've noticed this, of directors not, or at least like master directors, right? You're like Paul Thomas Anderson's, Quentin Tarantino's, David Fincher's, whatever. And already I'm kind of defeating my point. But my point is that, like, these guys have been making movies, mostly period pieces. A lot of them have been making period pieces.
Scorsese.
Like, yeah.
I said that's
Scorsese.
so weird. Scorsese.
Yeah. It's the OB.
Orange Blossom Pilsner.
Blossom. And it is interesting, like, talking with people about this. Some people cite that, like, cell phones are a big problem, where it's like, when you're writing, a cell phone kind of like defeats drama. Romeo could just like text Juliet, or whatever.
Yeah. Or yeah. I think of examples.
But I think it's also, people want to have that built-in hindsight, where it's like, if you set a movie even 10 years in the past, you already know what references and what stuff it endures from that time.
Yeah.
Versus what has faded away or has aged poorly or whatever. Your hit rate is going to be just higher.
Right.
But I feel like there is kind of like I don't know, like there's a kind of a cowardice in that, in a strange
including
way.
it or not including it?
No, and what I immediately thought of is, when I was naming master directors, I didn't name Bong Joon-ho, where Parasite is set in the present and very close to the present.
But it feels
like,
timeless.
Yeah, and like David Fincher just made The Killer, which I think is super set in the present and like really smart about the way that it deals with like already dead. Like in The Killer, have you seen The Killer? Well, whatever. The Killer, like, he like snipes people from like a abandoned WeWork. You know how WeWork went under? It was like a co-working studio.
Really?
But it's like all about like the things that are already dead in the present.
Okay.
And it positions you in like the carcass of companies.
I kind of like that idea because it's almost historical.
Yeah, where it's like a snapshot of things that history has already decided are dead and are in the past.
So it's plausible.
Yeah. But it's so like, even like, I don't know if you saw the trailer for like Ari Aster's new movie, Eddington.
Yeah.
But like, that's so bold, and I respect him so much for making like a COVID.
Yeah, because it takes place in 2020.
Yeah, in 2020, and like that's the kind of shit that we need to be making. I feel like is like movies that confront the present. Like the whole like retreat into nostalgia is obviously makes a lot of money and all, but like that's not, go back to like the 70s, and like Dog Day Afternoon is based on events that happened the year prior. Like they are making movies about what they're feeling and what is happening in the moment, and we should also have those things. Like that's whatever, it's controversial or whatever it is, or it'll age poorly, but some of it might age perfectly, because when you tap into that zeitgeist, when you tap into like the feelings that people are happening, then it's almost like a historical document of like what is happening at the time, what people are feeling.
True.
And all. I don't know. So yeah, do you feel like you tapped into the cultural zeitgeist, or was that on your mind at all when you made your most recent movie with Opie?
With Opie? I would say yes, because it's based on my relationship with Opie.
Oh,
and
that's wonderful.
Me at my state of running, of being in shape at that time, not right now. 4 months ago. Now 5 months ago.
What happened?
I stopped running. I gave the fuck up. Like I was like, okay, I ran a half marathon under my time. I shot a half.
I respect it.
2.5 months of not doing shit.
I respect the hell.
But I'm trying to get back into it now. I know what you mean though, because you said nostalgia. I think eventually 2020 is going to be nostalgic for some people. Interestingly enough.
Probably. It's all about the silver lining.
All about the silver lining. I'm almost done with this one, and then I'll grab a new one because I want to keep my mind a little bit sharp for a little longer.
I'm trying to dull
yeah.
everything.
Okay. Then let me say one more topic, and then we can get into some dumb shit. What I was going to say though is a lot of shows and movies that I've been seeing recently since 2020 have referenced COVID. Either they'll have people in masks, or they'll so COVID happens in the universe of the shows and movies that I'm thinking of. And that's really interesting that a cultural phenomenon like that, I mean, obviously it would, right? I mean, in our lifespan, that's the only event I can really think of. Well, that's not true. But I you know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
Like, it's a plot point. And another thing I was going to say is it's really weird, or not weird, what I find kind of cringy sometimes, it's hard to do correctly, but you talked about cell phones. When characters talk on the phone, like Entourage and Succession, they do it a lot, where a lot of the dialogue and scenes are characters on phones. Mm-hmm. So you either see the character on the phone and you hear the voiceover, and they'll cut back and forth, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes characters will FaceTime, and sometimes characters will text each other. And when it comes to texting, a lot of shows or movies will have the text kind of pop up visually.
Yep, the Sherlock method.
And it's like, now you're just reading text, and it's interesting that technology changes the way you film and you compose the shot and you edit, because now you have to hold on the shot long enough for them to read the text.
Yep.
So there is something to be said, I think, about when you, like, if you want your movie or your show to be taking place in the present, you have to address current technology. And if you don't have it, I mean, you won't think about it, but if you do have it, it's like kind of going back to the point you said where it eliminates those risks. For example, let's say there's a bank robbery, right? If you had a bank robbery happen 100 years ago, they'd get in, there was no one here, no one saw us, okay, we got away with it. If you do that today, there's probably cameras, and then you're going to drive down the street. Now the traffic lights are going to have cameras to track you. Right. Your cell phone is going to you know what I mean? So it's harder to think of ways for your characters to do things without the audience going, well, that wouldn't happen because XYZ. And there's a lot more variables today to limit that. So I think it's more difficult. Is that kind of what you were saying?
Maybe. I mean, yeah, that's basically like what I'm saying, where we have such a technological infrastructure all around us, right? That like inhibits drama in a way.
Yeah.
But I really think of like, I hate to go back to it, but to like The Killer, where a lot of this technology is dumb, and a lot of like, not to spoil The Killer for you, but a lot of The Killer is about how like you can order all the ingredients you need to be to be an assassin on Amazon.
Yeah.
You know, and like how easy it is to like trick Ring cameras or whatever, like how all this technology is like dumb and you can use it against itself.
Yeah, and it takes a creative writer like David Fincher or somebody to come up with that. And if you go that route, then of course that's now your advantage, right?
Yeah. I think it just takes a recalibration of your mind, right? Like that there's a thing that you picture in your head, but you have to just think through like how would it happen, right? How like step by step of like, okay, there's the cameras and there's this and there's that, like how would I get around this?
More challenging.
You know? Yeah, it's a greater level of challenge, but I think there's a greater level of reward if you can do it. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't know. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, then maybe we can change topics because I do have some more things to write down. Okay. Yeah, we talked about that. Talked about that. Little bro.
Fern.
So, well, yeah, Fern's little bro. But you and I both have little brothers. and they live together.
Mm-hmm.
My little brother apparently is moving out soon, but for the past year to 2 years, our little brothers were living together.
Yeah.
It's like a sitcom.
Yeah, it's very strange. It's like, I don't know. Yeah, it's like what the fuck is that show where it's like, oh, they're babies now.
2.5 Men.
2.5 Men. No, there's some show where they're like, oh, not like Rugrats or whatever, where they're already babies, but there's
Backyardigans.
Maybe there's shows where they're like, they were normal kid. Oh, like fucking like Scooby Doo or something like that. Where they'll do like
Pup named
Scooby-Doo
Scooby-Doo.
babies.
Yeah, Looney Tune babies.
Yeah, and they'll just be like babies, and that's I guess the premise of the show.
Bro,
But they
Looney
do
Tune
the
Babies
exact
was a good
same
show.
thing. Yeah, like Looney Tune Babies. It's like that where it's like, we're the main flag normal show.
They're like the spin-off.
And then it's like the insane spin-off where they're all babies. It's like,
Yeah. Well, good thing you brought up Scooby-Doo, because that's literally one of my talking points. What is your... I think I know what your answer is. You know what? I'll just say the answer. Your favorite Scooby-Doo movie is Zombie Island.
Yeah, I mean that's the go. I mean that's the. If you go back and watch Zombie Island compared to any of the other ones, the animation is,
the direction is way different.
Much better. So
but the
much
shadowing, better. Like it's almost like they use kind of like the animated Batman movie where they use black canvas instead of white.
It looks so good.
Yeah,
like the cat scenes where they all turn into cats and shit like that, or even just the design of the zombies. Like the design of the zombies is like. In the other shows, the color is so much more flat and like
bright, saturated.
Bright, yeah. Whereas this one, you're right. It's like the shadows and like the gray areas and stuff like that are so good.
Duller.
Even just like the cool ass like Cajun Louisiana.
True. The location,
vibe,
it's just
like,
the perfect location.
And crawfish and like
you can never go wrong with that.
Just like jumping off of gators' heads.
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
Yeah. And the character designs too. It's interesting. Shows like Scooby-Doo, or even like with Batman, you can have like dozens of variations, designs, interpretations of the character, and they can all be great.
Oh yeah.
So
absolutely.
This one's interesting because I like the versions of the characters. They have alternate clothes. Can you hand me a beer?
Yes.
Have you seen? Valentina's been binge watching this show. Like we just finished the last episode like this week. The Mystery Incorporated from like 15 years ago. You told me about that one.
Started binge watching it, and like most shows that I start watching, I just stopped at some point. I don't know where, but I really liked it because it has that like
retro 60s but modern.
Yeah, but it also has that like teen vibe. Like it's the first one to like make it more like, oh, like Shaggy and Velma are in a relationship.
That was so interesting. Because that was like a joke as a kid, like with Robot Chicken, like, oh, you know, there, and then they actually make it canon.
Yeah, and like it gets Goofy, fucking Scooby is like, you're cheating on me.
Yeah, there was like a love triangle between. I was like, I like how they delve into the character,
straight into it, which is fantastic. I mean, that's that good shit. And even like the monsters of the week and like the overarching, like, isn't that like Mr. E is the guy
Mr. E, and there was I thought he was an owl, but apparently he's a parrot. I
gotta watch it again. I don't think I even got to the reveal of Mr. E, but yeah, I really like that show. I forget who put me onto it. Somebody put me onto it. That show was really good. Man, I mean, even just like the other day, I was sitting back with Nico and Zach outside of our house, and we were talking about, which I want to ask you.
Okay.
Top TV show theme songs. And we had brought up, Nico was going hard for Pokemon.
Okay.
Which is good.
Okay.
But I was like, ain't no way, especially next to like Teen Titans got floated, and we played that theme song, and that theme song rocks, man.
I can't remember what that sounds like. I used to watch that show.
That theme song's great, but I'm thinking of the Scooby-Doo, I think it's Simple Plan version of like
the 2000s.
What's New Scooby-Doo?
What's New Scooby-Doo?
Yeah, we're coming after you.
I'll be honest, that was not my favorite Scooby-Doo version.
I love that theme. That theme is so good. It's like
the song is good, but that
Blink 182 fucking dead in a ditch, man. Simple Plan.
Yeah, that's tough. There's too many.
But I really like that one. What's New Scooby-Doo? Like Scooby-Doo is just an iconic character. Going back, is Zombie Island your number one? Is that your?
I would honestly say probably the Cyber Chase, because it's like a multiverse, and you have like different versions. Yeah, dinosaurs are in it. Like,
that's true.
As a kid, that one blew my mind. I was like, yo, this one's crazy.
That one was. I mean, the holy trinity is Zombie Island, Cyber Chase, and Alien Invaders.
Yeah, I like that one.
But I really fuck with
the Boo Brothers.
The Boo Brothers.
Yeah, and Scrappy Doo. Yeah, that one's a nice. That one's
with
a weird.
Like the insane lady who keeps trying to jump Shaggy's bones, and Shaggy's like grandfather owned a plantation. Like, that movie is so out of pocket and insane in a way that's like they haven't really been able to like get to. I love the Boo Brothers,
and the characters have like inverted colors. Like Shaggy has a red shirt. Maybe.
Yeah, well, the adventures where Shaggy is with Scooby and Scrappy, he has a red shirt.
And then Scooby has a different...
with like the Ghoul School.
Yeah.
Ghoul School
and the racing one.
Yeah, the
werewolf. That one was
werewolf.
That one's fire. That one's really
fire.
good. Yeah.
Anything where it's like a racing movie fucking rocks. Have you seen Speed Racer?
Oh.
Have you seen?
Yes. Because you showed me that shit. I remember when that shit came out in theaters, and you showed me, and I already knew about it. I already knew like the visual effects of it, but I never actually watched it. We didn't finish it when you showed me because I passed out. No, I don't want to finish that movie.
The end of that movie is insane. That no other movie has the aesthetic of like binge eating candy and taking acid. Like, that's the aesthetic of that movie.
Looks like melted candy.
It's like your teeth are rotting out of your fucking head because you ate so much candy, but also you're like wigging out on acid, just losing your mind. We need to watch that. We need to finish
We started it together.
Well,
and we
Hundreds of
didn't
Beavers
finish it.
first.
and then cap it off with Speed Racer.
Speed Racer.
Oh my god, bro. Yeah.
It'll be a 6-hour night.
I can respect the attempt, and visually I can see what they're going for, but my god, the whole movie like that? That's crazy.
You haven't seen the whole movie. You don't.
Yeah, right. You're right. I haven't. But I like my fair share of that kind of stuff as well. Things where it just gets fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Absurd. Like, you know it's stupid. You know it's bad.
I wouldn't say bad, but it's a bold choice. They're making a very bold choice.
I mean, it's an anime adaptation.
Absolutely.
And that's already, I don't think there is a good anime adaptation. Maybe the One Piece Netflix show is what I've heard was good.
Fuck that.
Yeah, other than that. So Speed Racer to you is the best anime live action adaptation?
Yeah, I can't. There's nothing that even comes close. I mean, it's like the Wachowskis are visionaries. Like, who did that fucking Death Note thing? Adam Wingard? Like,
did he do that? He did also Godzilla versus King Kong, I think.
Yeah. Which is all right. That's
but he also
cool.
did Free Fire, didn't he? Was that him?
No. That's
IMDb, cycling.
No, who is his name?
Buffering. We can
blanking.
pull up the IMDb.
He did the Meg 2.
Yeah.
I can name his entire filmography.
But didn't he also do like a Godzilla movie?
No, he didn't do it.
Or a Marvel. He did something.
He did Meg 2. He did. Maybe you're thinking of the adaptation of Rebecca. He is also doing something else. I can't
Something
remember.
big
But
blockbuster-y.
I remember his wife's name.
Oh, yeah?
Amy
What's his-
Jump. Yeah, Amy Jump. And again, I can't. Oh man, this is insane.
Yeah.
I can't pull his name.
Drop in the comments.
Drop it in the comments. Kill List, fantastic movie. Free Fire, fantastic movie. A Field in England. I mean, like, awesome movie right there.
The Meg 2.
I can't remember.
Forgettable.
The Meg 2. Well, that's the thing. He has, his wife was his editor
Okay.
and like close collaborator.
Okay.
And they got divorced. And his movies,
That's kind of like
and it's like, wow, was his wife?
well, it's interesting you say that because there's a lot of parallels where those type of directors, all of a sudden they do a big blockbuster movie, right?
Yeah.
So the director of Marcel with the shell, with the shoes and the shell,
yeah,
and he's now directing the Lilo and Stitch remake.
right, yeah,
But his wife was Mona Lisa in Parks and Rec. They divorced between because she voiced Marcel and
Jenny Slate.
yeah, she voiced Marcel. They divorced somewhere between Marcel and this new Lilo and Stitch. So same kind of.
They were divorced, I think, before he made the movie.
Oh, before Marcel.
When they made the shorts, they were together.
Oh, so they had a professional relationship then.
I think
For
so.
the feature, okay.
Yeah.
Well, similar, I guess, kind of story.
Yeah, similar-ish. I mean, it's different partially just because, like, whoever this director is, whatever his name
Yeah.
is. I
have his face in my mind.
I keep thinking Wes Bentley in my head.
No, it is him.
No, it's not. Because Wes Bentley directed, like... No, Wes Bentley is an actor. He played, like, somebody in
Your
fucking
phone.
Hunger Games.
IMDb that shit.
Yeah, I feel like I'm betraying the podcast.
Well, we could have like the full screen up during this time.
Sure.
Like, you know, in
Yeah,
Theo
we've been
Vaughn's
talking
podcast,
around
he
this
talks to
whole
somebody
thing.
behind camera.
Name. You ever see
Excuse me.
Free Fire?
Yeah.
Ben Wheatley.
Ben
That's the
Wheatley.
director.
Because you said Wes Bentley.
Yeah, Wes Bentley.
Ben
I
Wheatley.
just swapped the...
Yeah. Because I was like, you're kind of there.
Instead of BW.
Ben Wheatley.
it was- Yeah.
Okay, I have a question for you.
God. He should get back together with his wife.
Damn,
They
damn.
make
You
it
should
work.
be the couple therapist for them.
For the sake of the movies.
For the sake of our entertainment.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a question for you.
All right.
So similar to how all these like artsy directors, they eventually do a big blockbuster. Whatever reason, they want their bag of money, whatever, you know, like Guy Ritchie does Aladdin. You know what I'm saying? They have a nice record and then do a big blockbuster. So you, a successful filmmaker, your entire career is certified in Rotten Tomatoes, you know, and you have the opportunity to do one big cash grab blockbuster, and you don't want your credibility to drop, you know, it's like, oh, like he just phoned it in. Kind of like, I don't know, Darren Aronofsky who made Noah, or those big directors who make the Marvel movies, you know what I mean? Every nice director has their Marvel movie. So if you had to pick...
Noah the equivalent of the Marvel movie? It's
From
the
what I've heard,
biblical cinematic
in
universe?
terms of the element that they
That's
added
true.
into Noah, which I haven't seen, of these like rock monsters,
Yeah.
yes. So if you had to pick one already established franchise, either currently alive or dead, and you're reviving it, whatever it is, what franchise would you pick to make your cash grab big blockbuster movie? And you have complete creative control as well.
I mean, maybe it's recency bias from us talking about it earlier, but I immediately think of Scooby-Doo.
So you would
It's
make like a live action Scooby-Doo or an animated?
I don't
Or
know.
a blend? I think you would make a good Scooby-Doo movie, actually. That's a good answer.
Probably animated, I guess, just because animated...
Yeah, it would have to be animated. You're an animator, not a live. You just literally said you don't want to do live action.
Because live action is, especially we working with Scooby Doo. It's like, I don't know, I'm gonna dress up these people in
Yeah.
their costumes. No, probably that. I mean, I feel like there's a better answer there somewhere. But Scooby-Doo, certainly. I mean, I just love... The thing is, I just love noirs. I love mysteries. And so I would love to, like, make it
Ooh, like a 1920s
Yeah,
noir.
like
Yes.
turn Shaggy into Humphrey Bogart.
Yes, this should be your next project.
Well, I'll have to contact the administration at
Of Warner Brothers?
Yeah,
Bro, they don't give a shit. They don't
Zaslav.
care about Looney Tunes. Like,
fire it up.
if you
That's
make
true,
it,
they don't care about.
no, they
Looney
don't.
Tunes.
Which shout out to the day the Earth blew up.
Mm-hmm.
I went to go see it to cast my vote.
Really?
Warner Brothers released a Coyote cut, and they're doing it.
Wow.
It better be good. It'd be very embarrassing if that movie's bad. It'd be like, ugh. I don't want to say Warner Brothers is right.
Acme versus Coyote.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. We should go see it.
We should. We got to see Mission Impossible.
Ooh, yeah.
We got to see Avatar 3.
Avatar 3. Are we gonna go see One Battle After Another in IMAX?
Is that the
PTA movie.
PTA movie? Okay, kind of getting his and Ari Aster is mixed up.
Eddington.
Yeah, I'm down. The trailer looked pretty good.
You haven't
seen the trailer?
Well, the trailer comes on. I'm trying to avoid everything because I'm sold. I'm sold
Yeah,
already.
I get that.
Right, and so like, it embarrasses Grace, but I plug my ears and cover my eyes and I go la 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 la.
Oh, when
la,
like in your theater?
Yeah.
No, I walked to the bathroom.
Oh, that's
like when the
smart.
Dune trailer, the first Dune trailer came on.
But
I
how
said
do you know when it's over?
I mean, they're usually 2 to 3 minutes.
So you just go out there for like 3 minutes.
Yeah, because I remember that came on. I literally went, Tina, I'm going to the bathroom, and I did this. I am not seeing one frame of this Dune trailer.
I'm gonna start doing that because there's too many. Like you shared in the chat. The not to invoke the chat on the podcast.
There's no chat here anywhere.
But you shared in the chat the Smashing Machine trailer.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's another one. There's that dropped, and then like I think yesterday the trailer for Weapons, Zach Cregger's new
I haven't
movie
seen that
dropped,
one yet.
and I am like so sold on these movies that it's like I don't want to see anything. I don't want to see the thumbnail for the
screenshots, nothing.
And like, because there's so many cool ass movies coming out this second half of the year, you know, like I'm excited for a lot of these movies. I'm gonna be going to the theaters and like I don't want to see this shit.
Yeah, I get it. I understand that completely.
So I'm definitely I'm gonna adopt your methodology.
Yeah, walk out of the theater.
Oh, I added it there so that I could convince Valentina that you had 3.
Oh, she believed me. I'm like, no, I didn't have 3. I swear to God, I didn't have 3. I had 1 and maybe 1.5. That's it.
Are we rolling?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Your little dragonfly wing that just like slowly spins around.
No, that's spinning. Like every time you cut to it, it's in a different position.
Yeah, I bet. It's a nightmare for the script suit. Yeah. Is that right over there?
Yeah. Opie, do your job, Opie. Stop sleeping and eating your bud.
No, but Matt.
Yeah.
The Highland Heads.
Mm-hmm.
All 100,000 of them out there.
There's a lot.
They want to know.
Yeah.
What's your fast food joint of choice? When you're you're done recording your 5th podcast for the day, and it's 11 o'clock at night. It's 10:30.
10:30. That makes a difference.
It's past 10. Most reputable joints and close at 10.
Okay, here's my answer.
Where you go?
So because of where we live specifically,
yeah,
down the road, it's as close as walking and biking distance, but I'll drive anyways. The only Fazoli's in Central Florida is 1 mile down the street, and they close at 11. So you said 10:30. It's past 10.
No, it's true.
More than likely, I'll probably hit up Fazoli's. Now, I'm not saying Fazoli's is delicious.
Sure.
I'm not saying Fazoli's is Italian food.
No,
their logo is fresh,
food.
fast, and Italian, and all 3 of those are incorrect.
That's a good one. You should write that down.
Good thing I said it for the podcast. Yeah. It's the equivalent of school lunch. But luckily, I actually fucked with school lunch.
Okay.
Now,
Sure.
I am a fiend for their breadsticks, man. I'm telling you, if you go there and you eat in the restaurant, not drive-through, but if you eat in the restaurant, it's all you can eat breads. Like, they'll just keep bringing you breadsticks. Like that, it literally says it on the menu. I can down like 20 of those things.
Wow.
Now, if I don't want fast food pasta, now their pizza's the pizza is like school lunch. Pizza is pizza, right?
Yeah.
If you want pizza and it's
High
the only
ceiling.
you know,
It has a high ceiling.
I haven't tried Wawa pizza. I don't really want to. I have enough points
me
almost to
neither.
get one. But there's right next to Fazoli's is a Taco Bell. I like their vegetarian menu, but their prices they don't have a dollar menu anymore. Like once Taco Bell got rid of their dollar menu like a year or two ago, I was like, that's it. Like fast food industry is dead.
Yeah. It's all been downhill from there.
Yeah. And that's about it. Like I don't want to go to McDonald's. Every now and then it's like maybe 1 month out of the year I'll have like Burger King 3 times. Like I'll just be in the mood for Burger King and that's what I'll get for like a month and then never again for like a year.
Yeah. I had the Aussie Grill near our place, which was the go-to.
You had the Aussie Grill.
But now that it's gone, Culver's in the opposite
True.
direction has popped up in its
Yeah,
place,
yeah.
and that is the move, man.
What time they close?
11:30?
Okay.
Or maybe it's 11. It's either 11 or 11:30. But
Probably
definitely like past 10, they're still open.
Yeah.
It's
okay.
it's the Fazoli's thing of like, okay, you're not McDonald's.
Yeah, you're not like, and Culver's is good quality. Like that shit's
Culver's
good.
is good.
And it's a good price.
It definitely like the quality gets worse as it gets later.
Yeah.
But that's to be understood. It's still, I would still trust a 11 o'clock, like 10:50 Culver's burger over a 10:50 McDonald's burger.
And you're going to be waiting in line forever at McDonald's, bro. Those drive-thrus are insane.
Yeah.
It's not the same anymore. My dad would not have survived in today's fast food climate. Everything's on the app.
Yeah.
No, he would not have.
Well,
But you also live near the only Jollibees in Central Florida.
I've never gone.
You're missing out, bro. Because
Am I? Everybody
you
tells
are
me it's
missing.
trash.
Well, okay. It depends on, it's like fast food, right? It's hit or miss.
Sure.
But if you go and you happen to get you get a spicy chicken sandwich.
Okay.
And if they make it right, oh my God. And you get the pineapple juice. Holy,
Is that the drink?
yeah. They have a pineapple, like a fresh pineapple juice. It's so good.
Okay.
And they
I'll
have like
try.
spaghetti. They have like, it's Filipino fast food. So it's kind of weird for Americans. Like they have spaghetti there as well. But,
What? They have spaghetti?
yeah. See, there you go.
I don't know. Fast food spaghetti is so fucked up. That's so wrong.
It is, but at the same time,
So-
yeah, I know what you mean.
Who the fuck wants to eat like spaghetti in their car?
Fazoli. In your,
It's so wrong.
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's like whatever, but like, I'm surprised that honestly, the biggest thing is like, I'm surprised there's not more like fast food hot dogs. Because like burgers, hot dogs, like
True.
there are like a whole class of foods that are great as absolute trash.
Sonic Burger has hot dogs,
That's true.
but there's like how many? There's like maybe 1 or 2 in the
That's
area.
true. Have you ever gone to Hot Dog Heaven?
Yeah, it's right down the street.
Is it good?
Okay, here's the thing. They are good, but they have very limited hours, and they're also very expensive.
But are they good?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Yeah.
Because I do. When I won like the Slam Dance Award for hot dogs, I was gonna take a picture outside Hot Dog Heaven and
Hell
be like,
yeah.
"Oh, I died and went to Hot Dog Heaven," right? Which would be great. But
Very.
then I was lazy and I was like, I don't know.
I hate when you have that idea and you're too lazy and you regret it, and it's too
Well, I
late.
just have to make hot dogs too, I don't know. Right?
You heard it here first.
No. What's it like being a Simpsons caricature artist?
Oh, so you're interviewing me now. Well,
was that cool?
Yeah. I mean, you're my guest, and it's about you. But if you wanted to ask me a question, I mean, I guess I'll answer. I haven't done it in a while.
But still, clearly you have the chops because you come over to our house and you caricature us to hell.
You know that scene in Superbad where Jonah Hill could not stop drawing dicks?
Absolutely. The best scene in Superbad.
There was a time in my life where I could not stop drawing dicks.
Really?
But also, there was a time in middle school when I discovered The Simpsons. I could not stop drawing Simpsons or people as Simpsons all through high school. Well, all through, I guess, up until now.
Did it take a while? Did you have to what was the process of like honing that skill?
Well, I would say one, I'm not saying this to brag, but I've always had like a creative drawing skill all through elementary school where my friends wouldn't believe that I drew this. Like, you didn't draw that. I'm like, I drew that. But with The Simpsons in particularly, I was not allowed to watch Family Guy. Mm-hmm. So I'd watch it on low volume. So like one ear was to my door if my mom came, and the remote controllers back then, they had like a return button. Like the previous channel button. Yeah. So I would have like
the history channel,
something like that, so I could just do that, like last minute. So I watch Family Guy with my hand on the controller, my ear to the door, and it was like this forbidden fruit.
Watching the Civil War.
Yeah,
documentary
at 9:00. So then when I went to the Mount Dora Library, shout out to WT Blind Library. At that time, they still had VHS tapes, and if you don't know about it, libraries are awesome because you can rent more than just books. You can rent movies. And so they had like a compilation Simpson VHS tapes. And so I brought that home and it blew my mind. I was like, what? The humor, the animation. And so they had like, at that time on DVD, they only had seasons 1 through 11 on DVD.
Yeah.
So I would rent as many as they would allow of Simpsons DVDs. This is middle school. And I would binge watch it. And to answer your question, I would pay attention to how they animated how they did the character development or the character illustrations and how the animation moved. And then in 7th grade at Target, they had on sale the Simpsons season 12. And I thought that was the most current Simpsons season. And I quickly learned like, no, Simpsons has been on for like 20 years at that point. And what I like about maybe that's why I like physical media so much, because the Simpsons DVD box sets, when you open it, there's so many funny Easter eggs and gags that you will not understand unless you have it. And each season was different. Each season has its own theme with characters and scenes. And when you take out the thing out of the box, and it opens up, it's like a 5-fold thing.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like the poster that's on my wall right now. I have a poster of like all the Simpsons characters like all standing together. Mm-hmm. That was more or less what this Simpsons DVD box looked like. It was like a scene with like dozens of Simpsons characters, and I would pay attention to how Matt Groening, which by the way, he signs everything he makes. I would pay attention to the way he he drew characters, the way their mouths were. I credit Matt Groening for understanding shadow and light.
Oh, wow.
Because if you look at those types of drawings, it's very simple, but yet effective. The way that he does shadow and light on Simpsons characters is there's like a shadow line on this side and there's a light side on this side, right? And they never intersect. And if you think about it, let's say it's one directional lighting. If the lighting is coming from here, so there's a light source here and there's a shadow source here. So it's like opposites. And whenever I would draw those characters myself digitally, that was my favorite part, was the shadow and light pass. Because it's you can add so much depth with literally adding a 25% opacity on this side and this side, black and white, or maybe like a bright yellow. And then there's a lot of celebrity cameos on The Simpsons, and you can tell when there's an average Simpsons character versus a celebrity guest because they add more detail into the caricature, more lines, more unique eyes. You know, when you have like a character customization in anything, like a lead character, you can select the eyes, select the nose, right? Celebrity guests would always have a unique one that didn't exist before. And I would you can easily recognize, oh, that's this celebrity, but they're Simpsons fight, right?
Yeah.
So I would like, study, I guess, compare the what am I trying to say? Characterizations of real people into what they look like as Simpsons, and we go, okay, so that's what a person who has this kind of nose, that's what it looks like. A person who has this kind of lip. And there's also that if you really know about the Simpsons, like most Simpsons have this overbite where they don't have a chin, but thicker characters, their mouth is within their face. Most Simpsons characters don't have it. It's hard to explain without visually showing it. And that was a new rule in my mind, was like, okay, so that's almost like rules. Like this, like the way his art style is, there's a lot of rules that you set in terms of how do you bring about a character. Family Guy kind of has it. These kind of simplified adult animations have it. And so I just kind of realized that when I looked at it, and does that answer your question?
Yeah. And like, so this refinement that you were doing of like figuring out this workflow of like, how do you take a real person's face and convert it into a Simpsons face?
Yeah.
Like, was this after were you just doing this for fun as like just interested in that, or were you already starting your journey as a caricaturist?
No, it just happened. Like all of my school notes, like while you're taking notes, I drew on every single one of them. And because of that, I keep every single thing I've ever made in school in my closet right now in a giant Tupperware bin. Wow. Call it a hoarder, call it a holder of nostalgia, but I would draw everything. If there's a teacher explaining while they're lecturing, I'll draw them. If I'm watching it currently at work, literally this happened yesterday at work, where I have to watch Udemy videos at work, which are it's basically a website.
What? Yeah, no, I know, but on what
all
are
kinds
you
of things.
on?
Learning how to manage, learning how to do After Effects. It's actually pretty helpful information, right? But sometimes it's boring, and so while I'm listening, I drew one of the instructors like with a Sharpie on a notepad, and I stuck it on my monitor. And one of my coworkers like, "Who's that?" I'm like, "My Udemy instructor." So I've been doing that since I'm a kid, just drawing real people I see, or
still in the Simpsons caricature.
At this point, it's kind of like a mixture of my own Family Guy, Simpsons, kind of That's a mix. But come to think of it, before drawing the Simpsons in middle school, I had art class, probably my favorite class, 6th grade, 7th grade. I didn't have an 8th grade. Shout out to Mrs. Scheidner. Probably one of my favorite teachers I've ever had. And I think that class is what opened up I have to credit a lot of my creativity, I think, from that class, because this is right before I watched The Simpsons. And in this class, there was a lot of student modeling. So some of the students would model in the middle of the class, like, different poses or whatever. And the goal was we all had easels and we all had to draw what you see, right? And mine came out I still have them in my closet right now. Yeah. And people were impressed with what I drew because it looked very much like the student. This was more like detailed drawing, like then using your thumb to smudge out the pencil lines to kind of create that shadow. And just having your hand on a pencil and drawing what you see, that helped me to understand, like, studying people's faces, studying their ears, looking at their shape, looking at their lines. And when you really know somebody, you know their range, you know their expression levels, right? You know what they look like, sad or smiling or just blank. And it's almost like data that you're collecting into your mind. And the people that I know the best, I can draw them without looking. I can draw you in all kinds of different ways. When you're on Facebook and you see the same character, but this is them in an Adventure Time version. This is in the Family Guy version, right? I feel like I kind of can do that once you have like the core formula down. And something I kind of tell myself is like every person has like a formula, like key characteristics. You are very fun to draw. That's a compliment, by the way.
Sure, yeah.
So yeah.
Well, I'm a cartoon myself.
Yeah, you are a cartoon. You literally animation.
So then, like, my question, I guess, is then like, why haven't you tried animation? Like, or obviously you're an accomplished animator because you do like vector animation, that kind of thing. But it's like, I hope it's not. But I'd characterize it as like motion graphics mostly, right?
Right now, currently, yeah.
Which is fantastic and is its own realm. But like, you're so good at like drawing freehand, and you're so good at drawing caricatures and cartoons that like I find it surprising that I haven't seen any cartoon work from you, because especially because you like animated content so much. South Park, Family Guy, Looney Tunes, like, have all been brought up in this conversation, right?
Yeah.
Like, is there something, is motion daunting to you? Or, I mean, I just want to see the Highland cartoons, you know? Motion madness.
It's because I'm lazy.
Fair enough. I mean, that's honestly good enough. I get it.
It's a good question. In middle school and high school, I wanted to make these stick figure versions of music videos, and I had them in my head, but whenever I attempted to do it on the computer, there's a learning curve with software.
Certainly.
And at this point, I could probably do it in After Effects, but as you know, animation takes so much time that it's just, I give up immediately, right? So when I do animations currently, I don't want people in them at all, because people specifically take so much time. Like, I don't like animating. I like drawing still people of animations, like in different positions. So it's kind of like your animation where you have like one, what do you call it? Position.
Still image, yeah.
Right. And I do like how when I watch behind the scenes of The Simpsons and whatnot, where all the animations are done in Korea, right? But they'll send them the key, maybe it's like a 6-frame animation, like the key moments, and then they'll fill in the middle parts.
Yep, the in-betweens.
The in-betweens, but I'm just too lazy to do that. Really would love, in my mind, I would love to. Again, in my closet right now are all the comics I would draw through middle school and high school. And a few times in the past 5 years, I have attempted to bring them to life digitally and animate them and voice them, and that's one of my goals. But again, every time I do it, it's just like, it becomes way more work than I think it is. And again, I'm lazy. Like, there's a lot going on, and I've just accepted that. It's kind of depressing, actually. Like, wasted potential.
Fair enough. I do. I mean, not to dog on you, but I do feel like it's wasted potential, especially because I feel like you have the mind for like working at that, and it is a lot of work, but also the more you do it, the more streamlined and the more like, because there's 100,000 things that you do when you're drawing something. And so if you're solving for motion and for making a cartoon, right? Like, you're going to make things more simple, even just in like character design of like simplifying things, which is something that I'm sure Matt Groening did, right? Where it's like,
they are simplified versions of
super simplified versions, where it's like, and you're reverse engineering that, where it's like, what is the least amount of hand line strokes that I can make to still represent this celebrity or represent this person or represent this person's essence? It's the same thing of like hot dogs, right? I animated hot dogs, and I started when I did a character animation for him. He had a gold chain, and part of the thing that I was working with was like, if I include this gold chain, it will be like an extra 15 hours of animating. Something like that, because there's a lot of like scenes where he's like talking and the camera's moving. Like, you have to redraw that chain every single frame for as many frames. And so like, just a rough estimate was like, it's going to take like 10 to 15 hours to draw that gold chain, and you have to make the calculation in your head of like, is this worth it? Is it worth it to have this gold chain on this character because it's essential, because it adds something to the character, right? Or not? And ultimately I decided not, but like those kind of like calculations that you have to make, I don't necessarily think of those as a bad thing. I think it refines your process down. It's the whole thing of like diamonds are formed under pressure. Like once you have all these pressures of time and effort and all of that, like you out of necessity, you just have to figure out something that will work for you. And like, that results also rounding all the way back around to a masterpiece like It's Such a Beautiful Day of stick figures. Like I'm going to make a whole movie out of stick figures, and it's going to take me 4 years, but at the end, it's going to be entirely my point of view, and it's going to be an absolute masterpiece, and it'll bring anybody watching it to tears.
But the thing about that, though, is it's cleverly written. So, like, without the clever writing, if you still have the same animation, it kind of falls flat, right?
Certainly.
So the heavy lifting isn't the animation in that example.
It's all part of it, right? Like, and like the way I think about life is like RuneScape. I'm not joking. Where in RuneScape, if you blocked, like you had a skill tree for every single thing you could do in the game, like farming and defense, like attack and defense were two different skill trees, and you needed to like go and fight people and like use your shield to build up your defense levels that would overall level you up more. Yeah. Versus like just your attack. Like you couldn't just go and like kill these guys. You had to like also just sit there and like get hit a bunch. Yeah. And life is like RuneScape in that like you need to, as I'm making these animations, I am speccing into whatever I'm speccing into. I'm speccing into like writing, I think, for a lot of the part, or at least like Hot Dogs is every single animation shortcut I could possibly find. I had this whole script, and all I wanted to do was just get it done. Where it's like the least animation, the least frames that I could possibly do, I would do, right? And like, but as I'm doing it, I'm learning more about it. Even though I'm like working on the writing, I'm also leveling up the animation, and I'm leveling up the other stuff. And so it all adds up, right? But you need to do all of it to level it up. You can aim towards just working on your writing, but if you're feeling constrained by live action, like I was, where I felt like I could not write a story and execute on it in live action in a way that would justify the story. And so my stories would always, like, in my head, I would picture whatever, me not being able to move the camera or light it correctly or whatever. Animation, it just felt suddenly freeing of like once I went, but I had to go through the iteration of, and they would die the next day, and then after that things happened which people like a lot, but I feel like was a trial run for like Hot Dogs is the first short that I made that I'm like proud of, in a way, and like it took a while to get there, but I had to both in each one of those shorts, I'm leveling up the writing for animation. I'm figuring out the back and forth between like storyboarding and writing, and the way that those two things are intertwined for the style that I'm writing for, and then working on how to actually animate this thing and how to streamline that process. And like Things Happen Because was especially like a big process of like, go back and look at that, and there are so few lines. There's no lines. It's all black and white, which like makes it so much easier to animate, because Hot Dogs half the time is just coloring everything in. You draw the lines, and then it's like, fuck, I have to like color in his skin color on his face and his arms and his other arm.
On Adobe Animate, that's annoying. You have to do each frame.
It's so fucking annoying. Yeah, and I mean, like, I don't know. That's what you got to do, but it's a bitch.
Yeah, doesn't it make you appreciate? I know Disney nowadays, it's like, oh, you like Disney movies, but if you honestly appreciate the animation of like Disney, for example, like Snow White.
Oh,
like, can you imagine making like, Jesus Christ?
No, I mean
my hand could not handle
even like modern day Snow White movies or whatever, like honestly all of it, like CG animation and stuff like that. Like the thing is that those companies, and especially like CG animation, because of the internet and because of labor conditions and whatever, it's like they're just doing what they're told. But those are incredible craftsmen working in wherever they're working, the Czech Republic or wherever they're working, right? But like those people, even like CG animation, or even something like, you watch something like the Minions movie or something like that, and it's like, man, these are real artisans at work, and they're executing like a absolute moron script or whatever.
I hate the Minions.
Right? But like, they are true artists, and it is that thing of like, you go back to 2D animation, or like even when we're getting into CG animation, but it's a mix of the two, like Beauty and the Beast, right?
Yeah.
Beauty and the Beast, the 360 shot of them
it's
in
like
the
one
library
of the first 3D
is incredible, and it's like the most beautiful mix of CG and
Treasure Planet
and 2D animation, and it is incredible. But even like something like the Lilo and Stitch movie that you brought up earlier is like, how many incredible artists worked on Stitch, right? There was probably a team of 100 people just working on like the fabric of the fur and the expressiveness of the character animation. Like, that stuff is fucking hard, man.
Compositing.
It is hard, yeah. Absolutely. And like, they have a whole village of people that work on it, and those people are not treated very well. But regardless, it's like there is this CGI stuff is not just shit out of nowhere.
I know.
And it's not just generative AI or anything like that. Like, it is true artists doing their thing.
That's why whenever there's new movies coming out, like, oh, it's just CGI. Oh, it's just CGI. I feel so bad. Like, no, I'm defending them. Yeah, it might be the Minecraft movie, but like, it's not the artist. Well, maybe they should have declined the job and declined the money, right? It's on them.
But I mean, they're stuck getting whatever they can get.
Like the Transformers movies, right? Okay, they're shitty movies, but like
also the CGI in the Transformers movies is incredible.
That's what I'm saying. That's my point. Like the sound designers, the motion artists, all of that. Like, can you imagine making Optimus Prime
all the
transform in live
pieces.
Action?
Yeah, it's
like the compositing in at least the first one is impressive as fuck.
Oh,
I'm like,
so impressive. Do you know Michael Bay's movie that he's making next?
Oh, you're talking about Skibbity Toilet.
Oh, no, he's producing that.
Okay.
The next movie he's directing is apparently some movie called The Outrun, but it's like Sydney Sweeney. It's like
he loves people with big boobs, huh?
He does. I'm like, oh, Michael, back in his bag.
Get on this couch.
Did you see Ambulance?
Oh,
damn!
Was that with Halle Berry?
I'm gonna just lock you in a room and show you like.
No, I know what you're talking about.
But the drone shots.
It had like Channing Tatum or something.
It had Jake Gyllenhaal. And Yahya Abdul Mateen.
Okay. I am the captain now.
Sure. No. But shit, man. There are like shots where the drone goes under the ambulance and then over the cop cars,
and that's like actual real photography.
And it's like actual fucking photography.
See, that's the thing. It's like, oh, fuck you, Michael Bay. That was a good shot. Like,
no, he's. It's the shit of like people use the term vulgar auteur, right?
No, I've heard that.
I don't know if you ever heard that term.
No.
But auteur theory, right, around like Alfred Hitchcock and whoever, was like these French motherfuckers who were like recognizing like, oh, actually the slums of horror movies like Psycho, like there's real artistry there and stuff like that. And so like you have the sense of the auteur theory that then is like, co-opted by like just the whole idea of like the film director is the artist behind the movie. It's a Martin Scorsese movie. He's expressing something about himself through Cape Fear, or whatever. but it's all about the lowly artist. Like, it's not really about the art house stuff. And so, like, people then convert it or, like, add the qualifier at the beginning of, like, oh, it's a vulgar auteur. So vulgar auteurism is, like, Michael Bay or
like
Uwe Boll or something like that. But it's like these people, like, these vulgar auteurs, these people who, like, are not accepted by the critical community but are artists in their own sense and are expressing
Zack Snyder.
Sure, Zack Snyder. That they're just auteurs in their own right? Like, and like, the worst thing that ever happened to Michael Bay was for Transformers to be a hit, because, like, his non-Transformers movies, like, the movie is kind of ass. But you ever seen The Island? His movie The Island with Ewan McGregor and Scarlett Johansson, and they're like clones or something.
I haven't heard of this movie.
It's ass. It's not good. But it left a big impression on me as a kid. The other thing, once you brought up the Simpsons, just rounding back around, because, like, my parents would buy, like, DVDs. They would basically, whenever they wanted to go out and have, like, a date night and leave us alone, they would always buy a movie on DVD, and they would be like, watch this.
Hell yeah.
And it would be the most random stuff that they would
whatever was in the Walmart bin.
The very first movie that they chose was The Forgotten, which was garbage. That movie was garbage. But the second movie that they chose was the Simpsons movie, which was the first. I've truly, like, now I've caught up with a couple episodes of the Simpsons, but, like, for the most part, my entire connection with the Simpsons is just rewatching the Simpsons movie.
That's honestly my first introduction to Simpsons too, is the Simpsons movie. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I figured, because you're so deep into it, I figured you would have been watching.
The Simpsons movie is one of the first things I saw from the Simpsons. Not the first thing, but the first one where I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God. I was like 10 years old.
I'm 10 years old watching, like, Arnold Schwarzenegger is the president, like, the EPA.
Bart's Wiener? Like, what the fuck? I was like, what is this movie?
They go to Alaska and, like,
the music. It was Hans Zimmer who did the music.
No way.
Yeah,
really?
bro. Hans Zimmer did the music.
That's some real origin story stuff for you.
I know.
Is Han still your number one?
Yes.
I gotta check it out. Although I saw a more recent trailer.
Yeah, I haven't seen any trailer.
It looked a little like ass.
Okay, well, it's a Final Destination movie.
Yeah, but I don't know. The trailers up till that point had been really good, and then, like, this trailer that I watched recently, Before Sinners, was like skyscrapers falling apart, and it was like, what is this? Like, that is not.
I know.
That's not what Final Destination is all about.
I don't know. I'm going in expecting to be shit, but also it's a new Final Destination movie. Like, my mom wants to see it. Like, I'm going to see that with my mom.
I do, yeah. I want to check it out.
Can you hand me another beer?
Yes, absolutely.
What was your first question, though? I forgot what he said.
Here's a question. What do you think will make more money? The new Final Destination movie, the new Megan movie, or the new 28 Years Later movie?
Okay, those are all different comparatively to each other. The Megan movie, the first one, I feel like was a hit with the Gen Zs or whatever generation my brother and sister are, who are like 19 and 21. But they don't go to the movies that often. So are they going to go to the movies and see it?
Right. Or
I don't know.
Will they wait for,
or
like,
will they wait?
Max?
So is Megan 2 going to make money? It's going to make money. Final Destination 6 is going to make money. You know how they say everyone and their mother is going to see it? My mom wants to see it, which means if my mom wants to see it,
Wendy?
Yes. Because she showed me the first ones when I was a kid. So if she wants to see it, I'm assuming more people than you think want to see it. So Final Destination 6, I think, like, everyone, all my coworkers are hyped. Like, I feel like there's hype for it because it hasn't been out for, like, over 10 years. So I think Final Destination 6 will make more money than Megan 2. And the third movie you said was...
The marketing has definitely been really good for Final Destination. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, the trailers have been very smart. But
I did not like the first one. That was the only one I saw. Because it ended with the guy dying by fire. Like, it built it up, and it felt so anticlimactic. Like, oh, he just died because he lit on fire? That's boring.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that's just for the trailer.
But have you seen Final Destination 2 again?
I haven't
recently?
rewatched
With
them
the
all
logs?
in a few years. Okay, I want to have a podcast episode where it's just us drunk talking about the down. But do you remember any of them?
I need to rewatch because like Adam fired it up. Adam
Number 2?
Adam, you should have Adam on to talk about the Final Destination because
loves death.
I genuinely think he hadn't seen any of them.
Really?
And he, I think, has watched all 5.
Yeah, he would
in
love
the
those
past,
movies.
Week.
Yeah.
Yeah, he loves them now. I mean, or he doesn't. I don't know. You know, Adam. We finish a movie and he walks out, and if he doesn't say that was ass, it means he likes it. You know?
If he just goes to bed silently,
If he
like
just goes to bed silently without talking to anyone, it means he loved it.
yeah, no, the log scene.
But he watched Final Destination 2, and I watched it with him, and like the log scene is incredible. The fucking beginning of Final Destination 2 is unbelievable with the whole build up.
Bro.
There's like the cop is like driving up.
Yeah.
And like there's a dude doing coke, and I forgot that
it's a group of teenagers on their way to go on a trip. Like the main girl.
Yeah, they're all on a trip, right? And like I forgot that all of her fucking friends die. Like she gets out of the car, and like after the whole log premonition thing, the car gets hit by a semi truck, and all of her fucking friends die. Yeah. And so the whole movie is about like all the other drivers. Like it's a great misdirect where even watching it again, even though I had seen it, I thought that like, oh yeah, it's like Final Destination or whatever, where it's like all the friends live, and then it's like death is picking them off one by one. But it's like all the characters that we've been introduced to in the other cars, the strangers, right, that like then are all pulled together because of avoiding. Yeah,
now the plot is you have to convince these random strangers, like, you know, don't out of nowhere, out of the blue, like that's crazy, right? And of course they're like, fuck off, and then they die immediately.
Yeah.
But the thing, why Final Destination is so scary?
Why?
It's because it's plausible. It's death by the mundane, and that shit has engraved into me like that. That's my rule book. And specifically number 2, you said the log scene.
Yeah.
I saw that when I was a kid, right? So maybe 6 or 7. Soon after, I went on a road trip with my dad. He drove us from Orlando, Florida, where we live now, to Washington, D.C. He was driving. I'm in the back seat, and wedged between the seats is like one of those little dinosaur TVs.
Yeah.
And it had like a VHS machine like built into it. So I had like a laundry basket of VHS tapes. I'm watching it. And we're on 95, probably in Georgia or South Carolina, I don't know, somewhere. And I'm watching my Walking with Dinosaurs on VHS, and looking over the TV through the windshield in front of us, on the highway in front of us, is a fucking truck with logs on them. And I start fucking sweating and shit. I'm like, obviously nothing happened, but that scared me so bad. And then also, I don't know if you remember this, in Final Destination 2, one of the strangers is, there's some mom driving and she has her teenage son.
Yeah.
And there's a water bottle, and they drop it, and it goes under the pedal for the brake. Yeah. And I feel like that's real. Like that would happen. And so every time I have something, now I know, don't let anything drop under your feet while you're driving, because it can go under the pedal and not allow you to brake. Like I felt like the Final Destination movies are rules. Not the fourth one. It gets a little too absurd. But especially the second one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like it's like, oh shit, that can happen. Like it freaks you out. It doesn't make you want to.
It's forever. It was insane that they were not making more, because it's such an endlessly mineable.
Yes,
like it's the perfect premise.
There's not like it's not a humanoid villain. It's not Freddy or Jason. It's like just you trip and you land your neck on the couch, or
it is open to like as creative as you can possibly get. It is like just the limits of your imagination for being able to come up with these kills.
My fan fiction Final Destination movie is? What? This was before the 6th movie came out. I was like, you know how the first movie of every Final Destination, there's like a set piece The first one is a plane. The second one's a highway. The third one's a roller coaster. It's all like
What's
things.
4?
4 is a NASCAR race.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. 5 is a bridge. Mine was a cruise ship.
Ooh.
I think a cruise ship would kind of like Poseidon Adventure a bit, but I think a cruise ship would be a good mining point for like. So the 6th movie, I don't know what the set piece will be, but it seems like it's a Seattle Space Needle or like. Don't say anything if you know what it is.
I won't say anything.
But the set piece is usually like the defining moment of the movie. So the
Yeah.
highway scene is a good one. I love 5.
The
honestly.
highway scene is so.
Yeah.
I would urge you to, bro, rewatch.
I'm gonna
that
rewatch
highway
them after
scene.
the 6th one. I'm gonna rewatch them all.
It is a lot of practical effects of like cars flipping
Real
over.
fire.
I was like, holy shit! Like
Yeah.
this is, and like the reason why the logs is so effective is because they fucking like actually shoved a log through a windshield and like. Obviously, they didn't kill a person, but like they
It's
had
still
some dummy or
insane.
something. Like it is convincing. It burns into your brain that image of like
Yeah.
a log fucking crushing your skull.
Yeah, and you know, in DVDs when you have the special features that
Yeah.
show you how you did it, I remember distinctly. I was maybe 5 or 6, and I was behind the couch watching my parents watch Final Destination 2 as they folded laundry. They pulled up the bonus features at the end, and I don't know if you remember, but that kid with his mom who had the water bottle, the way he dies later in the movie, or no, maybe it wasn't him. There was a character who jumps out the fire escape because
Oh yeah,
and he lands on his head, and the ladder goes through his eye, right?
yeah.
And I remember distinctly they were explaining how they did it. They did like a shot, like a composite shot, like over a green screen or something, right? Of a ladder going through roast beef. And that's how you get that fleshy, exodus that comes out. And from that point on, every time I look at roast beef, I think of this dude's eye.
Yeah.
And how you use special effects. Like that, I think one of the early memories I have of what special effects are was the Final Destination's
Final
bonus features of how
Destination.
you can do that. I can
Bro.
talk all day about that's like my favorite horror franchise.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense, I guess.
I have them
I
all
don't
on
know,
DVD.
I don't know what mine would be.
Yours would be
I mean, I love.
Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, Scooby Doo. Yeah. No, I was gonna say, have you seen? I don't know. You're not a big, because I feel like you're interested in practical effects, but you don't really watch. Like, you should get into Cronenberg, man. You should get into like David Cronenberg movies. Like, have you seen The Fly?
Yeah, The
with
Fly,
Jeff
The
Goldblum?
Thing, all that. Yeah,
The Thing is fucking.
Well, yeah, I mean,
so good.
The Thing,
But
The Fly,
I'm
I
thinking
watched
of
all that.
Scanners, like one of the best special effects I've ever seen is
Scanners?
in Scanners.
Oh, I
Yeah,
haven't heard of
it's
it.
a David Cronenberg movie. The guy who did The Fly.
Okay.
And it's about people with like telepathy powers, sort of like people who can move things, people who can control people's minds, whatever. It's like mind warfare is the whole movie. And there's a point where it's super famous. You've almost certainly seen the GIF of it because it's like the GIF is like way more famous than the movie. But it's a guy, a bald dude with like glasses, who's like on stage and he's like bragging about his mind powers. And like
Okay.
one of the dudes in the audience is like, has mind powers of his own. And the two of them like lock into this battle of like mind powers.
Okay.
Like trying to like read each other's
they're, like-
minds or like force each other. Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
And the dude on stage, his head explodes.
Yeah. Oh,
And
I was like, someone's head's gonna explode in this.
Yeah, exactly. But the way that they did it was they literally just like built a dummy of this dude and filled his head full of like raw meat.
Yeah.
And then under the table, they just took a fucking double barrel shotgun and just blew his brains out with like the dummy's brains
I
out.
love
with
that stuff.
And like the explosion is like incredible.
Yeah.
And like so visceral, and that scene is so good.
I gotta watch
and
that.
it's exactly what you're talking about of just like how you use like meat and beef and like I'm working on a project now of like the multiplane and like I'm trying 100 different things. And specifically, I'm thinking of that scene in Scanners, but like I guess it kind of also calls back to like Final Destination.
Bless you.
It's Final Destination 2, where it's like meat is so fucking like useful as like
And sound design too.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Raw chicken.
Oh man, I fucking used a watermelon. I just like smashed watermelon with like
celery
a brick
and carrots,
and like celery and carrots for like bones breaking and all. But yeah, I got like a fruit mix from Publix and just like.
But that's that's going on Foley, but I fucking love Foley. That's a whole other tangent.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like the Indiana Jones Raiders of the Lost Ark when the Nazi melts his face. You know that shot?
Oh yeah,
like it's wax, but it's like like San Winston and that whole. Like I love that.
It's visceral.
Yeah,
it's
tangible.
Like, exactly, it's totally tangible.
In Alien, it was Melk. The actor, what's his name? He was Bilbo Baggins.
Oh, Ian Holmes.
Yeah, he's like white.
Yeah.
That was Milk, and I remember like one of the trivia is it smelled so bad.
Yeah, I bet
because he was covered in like spoiled milk.
And I mean, they also like, the thing of like when they first go into the Nostromo, towards the beginning, and there's like the blue lights and like the crazy shit.
The first Alien you're talking about?
Yeah, the first Alien. I think it was like they just went to the soundstage next door where like Pink Floyd was like doing like a concert or like something like that. They like went into like a Pink Floyd set where like Pink Floyd was either shooting a music video or something, and they just like shot Alien on the Pink Floyd set.
Really?
Like there's like crazy stories where it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, no, I love those
it's
stories.
crazy that these things are just like happening next to each other.
I know. That's Hollywood, baby.
That is Hollywood, baby.
Or actually, no, that was shot in England, so.
That's
London, baby. London, baby. Yeah. Oh man, we can go on and on about that.
Yeah.
There's so many things I want to say, but so much limited time.
Yeah. What time is it now?
I don't even know, bro. Well, I have a few like wrap up things if you want to get.
Yeah, certainly. I'm all on the ride.
To bring it back to reality a little bit. You are snap back to reality. You are currently getting your master's, and you're graduating this weekend.
Yeah.
So whenever this episode comes out, it'll be probably a few months from now. But today, this coming weekend, you're graduating with your master's, right?
Correct.
And so you started UCF in 2014. With your BA, like you graduated high school in 2014, you started UCF in 2014.
Yeah, summer.
It's 2025, so it's been 11 years. And in 11 years, you have you have a BA, you have a BS, and now you have an MS.
Yep.
What do you have to say about yourself?
School is a scam. No, I don't know. I mean, it
was paid for.
It's
shout out to where you work.
It's I don't know, whatever. It's like your
parents are watching, by the way.
It's great for the people that are around you and the professors. I will say, like, I had like one professor who I reached out to. I emailed after the program. Mm-hmm. I'm like, this dude rocks, bro. He's so smart and he's so good at teaching. It like puts everybody else to shame.
Yeah.
And like the same thing with like our undergrad, right? But back to what we were talking about like making our whole friend group, our people who are like our forever friends, is like that's invaluable, And like I don't remember the fucking history of film 101 class or whatever the hell I took. Like the classes like don't matter so much as like the sets that we did outside of class,
the extracurricular.
Yeah, exactly. Or like the connections that I made at this in my master's between people who had like all these interesting ideas and like I don't know, like hanging out in the parking lot after class and like
that's
talking for like an hour.
It's the connection. That's what, when my mom was like, would you have been as successful if you did not go to UCF, if you just went to community college? I'm like, no, And the biggest thing I get out of college is not the degree or what I learned. I mean, yes, I learned stuff.
Yeah.
But it's the connections, the people you meet.
Right.
Like, that's the most important part. I would not have known you.
Yeah, 100%.
Have I gone to screening club?
Never met.
Yeah. So, like, it's interesting, right? Like, all that money, all that time is just for connections afterwards.
Yeah, and I mean, like, that's valid in its own right? Because it's like you need to create a space where people can make those networks.
Yeah.
Now they charge out the ass for it.
I mean,
but
QCF ain't cheap.
But I mean, it does provide that, and there are like also all these people who like there's so many people that we know who just go to class and then go home or whatever, whereas like
where are they now?
We would be on sets during the weekend. We would be on sets, or we would be like fucking Respect is like where we cemented
I wasn't on that one.
Friend group.
I would consider it Snapped, but
true. You weren't on Respect?
No, I knew of it because that happened during the Christmas break, I think. And I usually went home for
What was that movie, Sarah?
That one I did with Fernando.
Yeah. I saw that. I wasn't on set for that.
I'm sorry you had to watch
one.
that. And I'm sorry to the actors who we made throw up by that gross toilet. I'm so sorry.
Wow. The art.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what's up with the Lockheed protests today?
The protests?
The strikes.
Today? Strikes?
You don't know about this?
No.
Oh, you don't know about this. Okay.
I don't know what you're talking about.
What were we talking about before? You're answering about your graduation.
Yeah.
Congratulations. I'm congratulating your graduation.
Thanks.
I have a gift for you.
Okay.
I have something for you that you've probably been waiting so long to receive. I assume you've been sleeping every night, awake, thinking about, when am I going to get this back from Matt?
Yeah, that's why I can't sleep.
Were you ready to have it given to you right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Your Tupperware.
It's my Tupperware.
I can't even remember what was in there.
Soup.
The soup that Vince made.
Yeah, I just poured all that out and threw it down the drain because it went bad. Sorry, Vince.
So no one ate it?
No.
Not even the meatballs?
No.
What about the cake?
The cake got eaten by
The cake got eaten?
Yeah, Adam went to work on that.
All right, bet. I was thinking that because I was thinking I should take it to work. It'll get eaten there. But then I remembered you guys live with Adam. Thank God that stale ass cake got eaten. But not the soup. All those meatballs, man. I would at least taken out the meatballs.
I didn't think about it. And then it was all bad.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Is like it was. He also didn't put it in like Tupperware or anything like that. Like it was just like a pot in the fridge.
That's what we do.
And I thought it was someone else's.
You don't remember Vince making it in your kitchen?
I think everybody thought that it was just somebody else's.
Really? And everyone just pointed fingers at each other?
Eventually, I was like, oh, is this a soup? And then you take off the top and you're like, oh, jeez, fuck.
You just put it back. Yeah. I know how that goes.
Like, that's somebody else's problem.
Like I said earlier, you're the smartest person I know, but also the most forgetful.
Yeah, the latter I can attest to. The former is
that might have been a little mean.
No, I'm super forgetful. I mean, like, that's why I fucking write everything down. Because otherwise I won't remember nothing.
Yeah. Same.
I have a whole Notion page devoted to you. With notes. And information.
Do Do you have my favorite color?
No, what is it?
I don't know. You have to guess.
You know my favorite color?
What?
Transparent.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's be transparent with each other.
Oh, sure. Why not?
Let me just look up the last tidbit I have. I followed John Paul Canal on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
Subscribed.
Good guy.
Yeah. How'd you find him?
We met through his sister at Florida Film Fest
22? 21?
No, it was definitely before hot dogs because then I hit him up
Before
for
COVID?
hot dogs. So yeah, it must have been COVID. It must have been 2020. Film Fest 2020.
So you just went there just to look at films?
No, I had Things Happen Because.
Oh, that went to Florida Film Festival?
Yeah. I played Florida Film Fest 4 times.
God damn, look who I have here on my podcast. A fucking 3-timer Florida Film Festivaler.
Shouts out Tim. Shouts out the whole programming team over there.
Yeah, so
They're cool.
while we wrap up, is there any last things you want to say? Things looking forward to? Anything you want to plug?
I'd like to plug the Matt Highland podcast. Things to look forward to. My next appearance on the Matt Highland podcast. I'm aiming for co-chair. I want chair number 2. I want to be a regular.
Yeah.
You know?
BYOM. Bring your own mic.
Sure, I can do that.
I know you have plenty of... That house has every single thing you need.
We have a lot of microphones.
A lot of microphones, a lot of lights, a lot of cameras.
That's true. Yeah.
You enjoyed yourself today?
Yeah.
Tonight?
Oh, yeah. Certainly.
What are we, 3 beers in?
You're 4.
I'm on... Okay, well, one of those are yours.
I count 4 over there.
And one of them CGI, bro, I
I'm
swear.
1 beer in.
Well, I know we've cheered like 3 times already, but thank you again for being on my pod.
Are you kidding me?
I hope people enjoy this episode. I mean...
They better. Listen, all you Highland heads out there, bring off in the comments. All right? It's important.
What was the other thing? Subscribe, comment, and like.
Like, comment,
I
subscribe.
hate when YouTubers say that. Don't tell me. I'll do it if I want to. In fact, I would rather like, subscribe, and comment if you tell me not to do that.
Honestly,
so please don't like or
unsubscribe,
subscribe. Yeah.
Dislike, and leave a mean comment.
Yeah.
The meanest possible comment you get about Matt.
Please.
Leave it.
Please. Don't at me, but please do it.
At him. Send it to his employer. Cancel Matt.
Cancel
like,
Matt.
Comment and cancel me.
Well, I'm not the one who works at...
Wait, I don't work nowhere. I'm unemployed.
Where do you work? Anyways, thank you guys for watching. This has been a great episode with Frank Volk. Master Frank Volk. Catch his new film, Skateboarders. What the
yeah, that's right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
At the Florida Film Festival 2027. You heard it here first.
That's correct.
And everyone who's met Frank at all these film festivals, I knew him first before you did. I met this man when I was 18.
Man, we got 1 foot in the grave.
I might as well finish this beer. How much do you have left?
Hey, you want to finish it?
No, you finish it. Let's
Okay,
finish it together.
cheers.
Well, how much? How much do you have left?
I have like half a can.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, look, I have like.
Wow, it's because you're down in them.
Yeah. So you want to finish together right now?
Yeah. Okay.
It's the first time I drank in like I don't know how long.
Yeah, I know. Tina was out there. She saw how many empty cans are over there, and she got worried.
That's fake news, dog. You ready to chug this thing?
She's upset.
Let's see who wins first.
Wait, see who wins first.
And go.
Okay, sure.
You got me drinking on my 3rd episode. Yeah, you should appreciate OBP and not chug it. Okay,
that's what I'm doing. I ring off in the comments. He should be drinking every episode. This should be a thing. You should have to finish a 6-pack, 12-pack.
Well, we have more mango beer out there.
All I'm saying is, you gotta be loose.
All I'm saying is, I gotta edit this, and this is going on for too long.
Hey, what do they say? Right drunk? It's sober.
What? And cut.
That's what they say.
And we're done.
Okay.
And that's the intro. And cut.